Welcome back, Holistic Soul Sisters. I'm Mandy Rose, your holistic health coach, spiritual mentor, and astrologer. Today's video, we're going to talk about Saturn retrograde. And I know retrogrades can be really confusing for people, and Saturn is all about our karma, our discipline. He's our tough love dad, teaching us lessons that we don't want to learn in this lifetime, but that we are meant to learn. And so we're going to dive in. What does Saturn represent? What does a retrograde even mean when Saturn is going retrograde? What about Aquarius, the zodiac sign that Saturn is retrograding through? What themes is this bringing up in our lives? And what you should make sure to do and not to do while Saturn is retrograding. So let's dive right in. So Saturn retrograde is happening from May 23rd until October 11th. This retrograde is not very rare. It happens every single year for 5 months. Now, Saturn retrogrades used to scare me. Just like most of us are familiar with Mercury retrogrades and our electronics going haywire, travel plans falling through, our car breaking down, and all sorts of miscommunication happening. Saturn retrograde is a little bit different. It's not about shit hitting the fan. It's not about chaos happening. It's an opportunity for us to prove to our dear friend Saturn that we got our ish together, that we can handle the responsibility, that we are willing to mature and we are willing to grow. And we're going to talk more about that in this video. I just want to share with you guys that I see every single planet as a friend to me. You know, we have different friends, one that we go to when we want to go out partying with our girlfriends and put on our little party dress. Then we have the friends that we call when we just want a chill night in, drinking wine and eating popcorn and watching a movie. Then we have the friends that maybe have kids like we do. They're our mom friends. Maybe we have our friends that we like to go to the gym with, and we have different social circles for every area of our lives. And the planets are no different. I love Jupiter. Jupiter is that like girlfriend to me that we can go out and have positive vibes and abundance and blessings and put on our party dress and just have a carefree night. That's Jupiter to me. Venus is the friend that I call upon when I need a little bit more tough love and self-care. And I need a reminder to be more loving, heart-centered, and more feminine. And then we have Saturn. Saturn is that tough love dad. That is the friend that I call when I need a kick in the pants, when I need someone to set me straight, to tell me my truth, to tell me, hey girl, you got this. I know you got this, but you got to do the work, okay? That's Saturn. So let's talk about Saturn first. What does Saturn even mean to us? Saturn is the tough love dad. I look to Saturn as the guidance system in our lives, right? We have our mother and our father. Whether you had a mom and a dad growing up or not, we all have these energies within us, right? And the motherly energy is to hug you and to support you and be like, you got this, you're number one, I believe in you, lovey, embracey vibes. And then you got your tough love dad over here that's like, all right, you want to be a lawyer? You got to do your homework. You got to apply to college. I'm going to tell you to do your homework. And if you don't, I'm going to punish you. You can't go out with your friends. I'm going to tell you, you want a car, then you need to do this, this, and this to earn your car. That is Saturn. Saturn is the tough love dad. And he's all about bringing us the energy to teach us the hard lessons that we don't want to learn, but that are going to make us better. That we're here on this earth to learn and to grow and to mature into our soul's development. That is Saturn's purpose. Saturn is also known as Lord Karma. Because of this reward and punishment and responsibility vibe that Saturn has, of course he rules karma, right? For everything we do, there is a reaction, right? So if we do the things we need to do, if we have discipline and structure and responsibility in our lives, then good things are going to come to us. Saturn reminds us that karma, good or bad, is meant for us. So we do good, we trust that good will come back. But if we don't do the things that we need to do, if we overlooked our finances, if we haven't been paying attention to our to-do list, if we haven't been creating the discipline in our lives every single day, the karma is going to come back around and bite us in the butt, right? So that is Saturn. He is tough love parental dad. He is Lord Karma, and he's also the taskmaster. He is all about creating that to-do list and checking it off, doing all the things that we need to do. And then Saturn is also known as the timekeeper. In Greek mythology, it was Chronos, right? Chronos meaning like clock and time. And so he reminds us that time is going by with or without us. Like either get on board and do the things, or in 2 years, you're not going to be any further. future. No one is going to carry you into the future but yourself. So time is going by regardless. So either you're going to do the things or you're going to sit by idly and watch the world go by. So I do love Saturn for these. You know, it's not easy to go through these tough lessons. It's not easy to mature and make decisions and be responsible. But when we do, Saturn is here to reward us. So he's not like Jupiter where he's all about optimism and blessing and luck and abundance. We need that, but we also need that tough love to kick our butt into gear when we're not willing to do it ourselves. So what does Saturn represent? Saturn represents all these things: maturity, responsibility, our boundaries, our limitation, our structure, our discipline. He rules our foundations. Saturn wants us to create a really stable and strong foundation so that we have something to stand on when life gets difficult. When life challenges us, when we are backed into a corner, we have our foundation, ourselves, our maturity. We know what our routine is. We know what our structure is going to be. We know who we are, so we don't let the outside world crumble us. So that is Saturn as well. Saturn rules our commitments. When we say we're going to do something, do we do it? Whether it's a commitment to ourselves, like to wake up every morning and work out, or our commitments to other people, like I will be there for you when you need me. And then when that day comes, you actually are there for them. So Saturn rules commitments. Saturn rules limitations and boundaries. How far are you willing to go? What is your limitation? At this point, I am no longer interested because it doesn't serve me. And what are my boundaries, right? Like I will do so much until this point. I create a boundary, a hard boundary around this topic and this theme in my life. Saturn rules those, and that's very difficult for people. We tend to overextend and overdo and overgive. And so Saturn reminds us to create those boundaries in our own energetic space. Saturn doesn't want to highlight your shortcomings. He doesn't want to remind you what you can't do or what you've done wrong. Instead, he's trying to give you opportunities to grow. So let's move on. What does a Saturn retrograde even mean? So when Saturn goes retrograde, essentially what's happening is he's going over a specific area of the sky from east to west. And then from our perspective on Earth, creates an optical illusion that makes it look like the planet is going from west back to east. And that happens over a 5-month period. So Saturn will be retrograding over the part of the sky from 13 degrees of Aquarius back to 6 degrees of Aquarius. And then he will do what we call station direct. And then he will go back over from 6 degrees back to 13 in Aquarius and then continue moving forward. And retrogrades are times when we reflect anything dealing with the word R-E, retrograde, reassess, reevaluate, restructure, recommit, retake responsibility, recommunicate, anything in our lives that we need to redo because maybe we just didn't do it right the first time. Now remember, Saturn is all about foundations, having a strong foundation, taking responsibility, growing up and maturing. So during a Saturn retrograde, it's very interesting. It's not like Mercury where things hit the fan and a bunch of external stuff gets dumped upon us. Saturn retrograde, remember he's our tough love dad, is really interesting. It's a time when Saturn actually takes a step back from our lives and lets us have the freedom to do what we need to do. He's saying, you know what? I've been so involved in pressuring you to take responsibility, throwing things at you to see how you're going to handle it, throwing this in your life to see what your boundary is. Saturn's constantly challenging us to make us grow, to get us to where we need to be. But when a retrograde, actually the pressure comes off. He takes a step back and he's like, all right, let's see what you're made of. I want to see what you're made of. So think of it this way. When you were growing up and you'd come home after school every day, your parents would be like, you got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. The next day, you got to do your homework. If you don't do your homework, this is your punishment. Do your homework or else. And then after a couple months, they don't want to remind you anymore. They want to see if you'll do it on your own, right? So they don't say another peep. You come home from school and they're like, hi, honey, how was school? And they let you be. What are you going to do? Are you going to go do your homework or are you not? That's what Saturn retrograde is about. Are you going to step up to the plate? Are you going to get your ducks in a row? Remember Saturn, responsibility, commitment, structure, discipline. Are you going to do it when life isn't throwing things at you? So life might get a little bit easier, but are you going to stick with it? Are you going to stick to your commitments? If you committed to your health and eating healthy, Are you going to stick with it or are you not? This is where Lord Karma, Saturn, Lord Karma comes back around. He's going to take a break for 5 months. He's going to let you do the work. He's going to let you make your decisions. He's going to not pressure or force, but don't you worry. When Saturn stations direct and he goes back over that part of the sky, that's when karma is going to come back around. So if you've been disciplined, if you took the steps, if you made hard decisions, if you had hard conversations, if you did what you needed to do, Saturn's going to bless you. Ooh, when October rolls around, Saturn is going to bless you. Let's say your commitment is to eat healthier and you don't over the next 5 months, you binge and you eat whatever you want. Saturn's going to come back around in October and you might go to your doctor appointment at the end of the year and not get the best of news. That is Saturn and karma and how that plays out in a retrograde. So I want you guys to get your ducks in a row. I want you guys to start planning and figuring out what area of your life you need some more Saturn themes. And how you can find this is by looking in your birth chart to find where Aquarius is. This Saturn retrograde is happening in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So collectively, Aquarius represents humanitarianism, groups, it represents innovation and forward thinking. It represents out-of-the-box thinking and being unique and authentic to yourself. So that's what we're all going to be feeling during the Saturn retrograde. Where in my life do I need to step up to the plate and be more authentic, to speak my mind, to speak my truth, to say how I feel? Where in my life can I be more of a humanitarian? How can I take responsibility? Saturn, responsibility. How can I take more responsibility for my actions in this world today? How is what I do, how is my own discipline affecting the community at large, right? So Aquarius themes for everyone. But where it lands in your birth chart is specific to you. So for instance, if Aquarius is in your 6th house, the 6th house represents our health and our wellness. So this is where in a Saturn retrograde, you are going to want to get disciplined in your health and your wellness area of your life. You are going to want to create those routines. You're going to want to go to the gym. You're going to want to eat right. You're going to want to take care of your body because, like I said, when Saturn goes direct in October, that karma is going to play out for you. Here's another example. If Aquarius falls in your 10th house represents our career. This is where you're going to want to create some discipline and structure and step up to the plate in your responsibilities in your career life. Where do you need to make some tough decisions? Where do you need to be more responsible for your own maturity, for your own limits, for your own boundaries related to your career? And if you do it, if you show Saturn that I got this, I'm going to do it, I'm stepping up to the plate, I'm mature, I got this, he's going to bless you come October in your career house. So figure out in your birth chart, where does Aquarius fall? Figure out what that represents in your life. You can Google the astrological houses, figure out what themes that is for you, and get to work during a Saturn retrograde on those themes. Now remember, no matter what comes up for you during a Saturn retrograde, Saturn is not a rusher. He doesn't like to speed. He likes to go slow. He likes to lay the foundation. He wants structure and a strong, strong foundation. He is not about rushing. He would rather take his time and do it right. So this isn't about taking the shortcut. Remember, this is not about taking the shortcut. If you see a financial opportunity where it's like, get rich quick, that's not Saturn vibes. He is all about doing the work, create the structure that will last you 30 years. So you don't have to go back and do it again and do it again. It's like building a house. If you do it in a rush, when the house is done, yes, it might look beautiful, but a year later, this problem's popping up, then that problem's popping up. And 5 years later, you've redone the whole house piece by piece, right? Same thing with our health. Don't take shortcuts. There are no get rich quick schemes and there are no get healthy quick schemes either. Saturn reminds us of this. You cannot take a shortcut when it comes to Saturn, and he doesn't care how long it takes you as long as you do it right. The other thing I want you to remember during a Saturn retrograde is that Saturn knows best. He's the tough love dad. He's been there, done that. He sees the big picture. So when something is crumbling in your life or something is pushing you to your limits, Saturn, limits and boundaries, when something in your life feels like it is just falling apart and it's crumbling, trust in the magic of Saturn. Take a step back. You don't need to react. You don't need to freak out. Let Saturn work his magic, because it's all going to fall into place. That's the beauty of Saturn retrograde. And lastly, I want to remind you that during a Saturn retrograde, it's all about check, check, double check, then check again, right? No shortcuts. So make sure that whatever you're doing, it's being watched. Remember, it's being watched. Karma, it's coming back around. So when you do something or you make a decision, think, what are the implications? What are the long-term effects? Saturn rules long-term. So what are the long-term implications of this beauty treatment, of this job, of investing this money here, of, remember, groups and communities? If I do this, how is it going to impact the group? Long-term, right? That is Saturn. And then also remember that when things break down, when they crumble, that's what we need to do. So during a Saturn retrograde, you might feel an area of your life being chipped away at, little piece by piece. This is falling apart, then this is falling apart, this is falling apart. But again, take a step back, do the things you need to do, be responsible, put your big girl pants on, put your big boy pants on. The next 5 months, have those big boy, big girl pants on. And that might be difficult because we're gonna be in the summer, we're gonna be in the thick of the summer. We are all craving a good summer since last year in the pandemic kind of put a kibosh on all of that. So I know that there's this inner child wanting to come out and play, but that doesn't mean you can't be mature and take responsibility. Life is about balance. So don't go too far in the deep end over here. Don't forget about being mature and responsible. Also, since Saturn is retrograding through the zodiac sign of Aquarius, Aquarius rules internet and technology. So back up your data, beware of hacking, beware of cyber attacks, be aware of your credit card information and anything that's stored on your phones, because Aquarius is internet technology and Saturn is retrograding through here, teaching us to be more mature with these very important financial pieces of information and this data that is sacred to us that we just so freely throw out into the world. We think just because we have our phone that everything is safe and secure. Well, Saturn retrograde might teach us that that's not the case. And also, Aquarius rules humanitarianism. So remember, during Saturn retrograde, what are you doing to impact this planet for future generations to come? Saturn's all about long term. So how can you make an impact? How is aligning with your purpose, right? All the planets are just helping us align with our soul's purpose and our soul's mission. So how can you really take some mature steps, create some discipline and structure that's going to last this planet for generations? So that sums up our Saturn retrograde video. Hopefully it made sense for you guys. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments below. Let me know what house Aquarius falls for you, and I will comment and let you know what areas of your life you should make sure to create some discipline in and step into your big girl pants, because you don't want a spanking from Saturn. So he's either gonna bless you or punish you come October, and I hope you get all the rewards that you've been looking for from the Saturn retrograde. If you haven't gotten your copy of the 2021 Retrograde Astrology Journal, because retrograde season is kicking off, we have Pluto already retrograde, we have Saturn going retrograde on May 23rd, with a Mercury retrograde right on its tail, and a bunch of other planets this summer retrograding. I did a discount on the Retrograde Astrology Journal, $25. Send me a DM. You can find me on Instagram at mandyrose.1111 or in the Holistic Soul Sisters Facebook community. Just search on Facebook, Holistic Soul Sisters. You will see the business page pop up and then the private community. Request to join, I will accept you. It's a community of women where we talk all about taboo subjects. We share our experiences. We heal holistically. We grow spiritually. The direct link for the group is in the description box below. And if you guys are looking for a birth chart reading, I have opened up some slots for a discounted reading. Again, you can send me an email or a DM on Instagram. I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. Make sure you hit subscribe because I'll be coming out with more videos in the next couple weeks. And I look forward to connecting with you guys more. Catch you in the next video. Bye.